Namaste, welcome back or welcome to Mindful Yoga. My name is Ryan and I'll be guiding you through your practice today. Just before we start today's practice, the channel has just reached 100 subscribers, which is a great milestone for me personally, and I love yoga and meditation, and it's good to see that I have the support for doing what I do. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. So today's practice is about giving some love to our lower back and our hips. So having a block at home or a nice thick book is handy before we start the practice. You may or may not need it. So let's bring the block or the book to the top of the mat. I will begin by coming into a seat with our legs long. So the first thing we're going to do is sit in Dandasan or Dandasana. A lot of times we tend not to give a straight focus to our spine. So when we're sitting a lot of times working in the computers, we're a little bit hunched. So bring the hands by our side and really pressing the palms into the mat as we try and gain some height into our back. And this may or may not feel awkward, and that's perfectly okay. A little bit of discomfort in life, as we all know, is important for our personal growth. And then really grounding down the sit bones and maybe feeling the back of the shins, i.e. our calves pressing into the mat and the toes straightening towards the ceiling. We're laying there, we won't stay there for long. And then gently releasing into a forward fold. So we slowly lean forward. Now you have two options. You can bend your knees if you like. It's early in the practice. And then reach for the feet. Or you could just straighten your legs and just fold forward. Hands can be placed on the ankles as well or the shin. They don't necessarily have to wrap around the feet. So just modifying to suit your body. I personally like to bend my knees slightly, even though I can reach the feet without bending the knees. Just gives me a bit more length in my hamstrings. And then slowly straightening the spine. And this time we'll bring the feet to hip width. So if you're unsure how wide your hip is, making two fists with your hands and placing them between your feet, that's your hip width. And then from here, we'll bend the knees and place the hands just behind the knees, interlacing them. Sit with a tall spine and then gently lean back. And again, there might be a level of discomfort here and the feet might want to come off the mat. We're going to make sure that our feet are really, really grounded. And we want to actively draw the shoulders away from the ears. So we sometimes carry a lot of tension in our shoulders, our neck and our jaw. So making sure that we're not feeling tense. And then gently bringing our hands around on top of the knees. And then we'll slowly lean forward and then wrap our hands around the knees. Now for this, you might want to bring your feet in slightly closer than hip width. And then gently bring your forehead down between your knees. As you can see, I'm a bit tight in the upper back today. I'm not feeling very flexible. So you might be able to place your forehead all the way onto your forearms. So go where you need to go to feel the full benefits of the practice. We will stay here for roughly 2 more breaths. And then gently straightening the spine. And this time we'll extend only the left leg. We don't want to extend the right leg. We want to keep the right knee bent. And then slowly wrapping our hands around the shin. Gently drag the right foot back. And once again, like I feel this in my outer hip. I feel this in my outer glutes. And you may feel a different spot or feel nothing at all. Just depends on how your anatomy is and how you're built. And then we take the right leg, right foot, cross it over the left knee for half float of the fishes. Ardha Matsyendra Asana. So we'll take the left hand, wrap around the right knee. Now the right hand stays down. We're not taking the right hand away anyway, so we're going to modify this. And we're going to twist to the right hand side, but we don't want to look back. Just looking to the side over our right shoulder. And again, making sure that the leg that is long, the left foot, is straight facing towards the sky. And if you went the other way, you bending your left knee instead of right, it's okay. Because we're about to do it on the other side. So let's extend the right leg again. And then this time we'll bring the left foot in, bending the left knee. Wrap the hands on the shin. So to give you more support to able to reel the foot in. So for me, this side of the body, the hip is a little bit more open, but it also hurts a little bit more. So maybe I'm overusing it. So I'm working on that, on trying to balance my workload around the hips. Now let's gently pick up the left foot and place it around the right knee. And then keeping the left hand where it is, let's use the right hand to wrap around the right knee. And then gently twisting to the left hand side. So this is very good if you're a runner as well. So every Sunday morning I like to do a long run. That's my way of releasing, especially given that Melbourne is in lockdown at the moment. So I have to run within my 5 kilometer radius, but I go one way and I go the other way. So I ran 18 kilometers on the weekend, and this actually feels really good. It's been a few days since, but this still feels good. There's some tightness there. One more breath. Let's come back to center. Extend the leg long, and we just do a short forward fold. Again, any option that you wish to take. And then from here, straightening the spine again. So for the next slot, I'll face you. So bringing our legs into a straddle fold, so your feet might come outside of the mat. And then what we do from here is we'll bring the right foot inside the left leg. So it's like a bit of Janu Shirshasana, like seated forward fold, but and then we're going to try and lean over the left shoulder, try and bring the chest over the left knee and bring the hands around the left foot. Now if the hands don't reach the left foot, it's okay. We just place the hands on either side of the knee. We want to make sure that the sit bones are grounded. So one of the things about running is that it clears my head and it provides me with discomfort throughout the run. And that discomfort helps me grow, improve my lung capacity and run further and for a longer time. And I'm not fast by any means. I'm actually quite slow, but I can keep going at the same speed. And then coming back to center. And then we'll swap the legs. So we'll extend the right leg this time. I'll bring the left foot inside. And then what we'll do is, again, we'll bring the chest over the right foot. Now this side is a bit harder for me. So I'm not going to go for the foot. I'm just going to go here. Because I've just woke up this morning with a very tight lower back and hip. I think that's why I'm recording this partly. And the thing about running is not worrying about your speed. What I like is it's a metaphor for life. We all get there in our own time. All we have to do is just keep our eye on the prize. So in my case, it was just finishing the 18 kilometers. And it didn't matter if I was fast or slow, or it took me 2 hours, or it took me 1.5 hours, whatever it was. We all get there in our own time. And that's a bit like life as well. And slowly coming back up. And then we extend both legs. So we're straddling our legs. And then from here, we don't want to go really too wide. All we want to do is place our hands in front of us. And we're trying to stretch the lower back a little bit. So we just walk the fingertips forward. Now some of you, this is enough. And if you need to do more, feel free to place your elbows on the floor. Or we can always use the block and place the elbows on the block like that and interlace the fingers. And some of you might be able to just walk all the way forward and place your forehead either on the block or place your forehead on the floor. So it's totally up to you. I'm just going to stay with the block because this feels the best this morning. I teach this a lot in yin as well. When I teach yin classes in studios, we normally tend to use a bolster in front of us and then place a block on top of the bolster if we need to. It's a really good release for the lower back. Just 2 more breaths. And then slowly coming back up, placing the block to the side. And we move to Malasana squat. So what we're going to do is we're going to move into a wide-legged squat, Yogi squat, Malasana. Key to Malasana is letting our hips descend towards the floor. Now with Malasana, there are many variations. So you can see both my toes are facing the front. You can also place your feet out wide. So the heels come in, but the toes are out wide. So that's fine as well. That will give you more room to move. And for some of us, it's really hard to do this. So what we can do is we can hold on to the mat. And we might not be too low. We can be a little bit high, and that's okay as well. And again, we're not going to stay here for too long. Once we rest in Malasana, we press our triceps on the inside of the knees. And we just push, actively and gently push the knees away with our tricep. Let the tailbone descend towards the floor. And then imagine there's a string pulling the crown of your head towards the ceiling. And if you'd like to, just for the next few breaths, keeping the eyes closed. One more breath here. Fantastic. Excellent. Great job, yogis. From here, if you can either walk to the top of your mat or do a Malasana walk, a squat walk. Then we'll place both hands down and come into a half squat, and then pick up the left foot and step it back, preparing for our lizard lunge, Uttan Pishtasana. So we have several options in lizard lunge depending on how you're feeling today. First one obviously is to have the knee down, toes untucked, gaze to the top of the mat, top edge of the mat, and then the right tricep is knocking inside the right knee. So that's one option. The second option is to tuck the toes on the back leg, lift the back knee. And the third option is to have the back knee lowered, roll onto the outer edge of your right foot, and then gently, you can either use a block, place your elbows onto the block at either height, whichever feels comfortable, or you can have your forearms come all the way down to the mat. So that may work for you. So for me, some days I can bring both forearms onto the mat on both sides and some days I just can't do it. Try as I may. So it just depends. And some days I can do it only on one side. So when we do on the other side, I'll try and have a go and see if I can do it on the other side. So yoga is also about acknowledging the limitations of the body and slowly working towards them. One more breath. And let's come back to center. Tuck the toes on the back leg, preparing for Malasana. Let's bring the left foot forward and sit in Yogi squat. Hands come down. Let's come into a half squat and we pick up the right foot. I will step it back. Again, options available. So you can lower the back knee or keep the back knee off. That's one option. The second option is, again, we'll roll onto the outer edge of the left foot and try and bring the forearms down. So I'm able to do it on this side, but I couldn't do it on the other side. And that happens sometimes. One more breath. And let's come back to center. Put the block away. If you use the block, we're almost there. Let's come and lie down. Almost finished. Not long to go. Ooh, that feels good. Let's bend the knees. So thinking of Garudasana or eagle bind, we're going to place the hands by our side first and then placing the right knee over the left. All right. And then we'll drop both knees to the left hand side. Now the hands can go out wide, or we can place the hands on the belly or on the one on the oblique, one on the belly, wherever it feels good. For me, over here it feels good this morning. It's also known as twisted roots or Supta Parivrata Garudasana. Again, very good for the hips and the lower back. This is another pose I teach a lot in yin, because we just stay in like the same pose for 4 or 5 minutes, using bolsters or blocks for support. Almost there. Let's come back to center and let's just swoop. Left knee over the right this time. And then we just drop to the other side. This is going to be a last asana before we go into Shavasana. Two more breaths here. Let's come back to center. Uncross the legs, extending the feet and legs as the feet find the corners of the mat. We'll bring the hands by our side. Take a nice deep breath in, sigh it out. I will wake you up when it's time. And making gentle movements with your fingers and your toes. Slowly rolling over to your favorite side, whichever side you prefer. And then gently, with your eyes closed, coming up into a seat. Bring the hands to heart center. A soft inhale, followed by a soft exhale. Bringing the thumbs to third eye center, to the lips, to our heart. From my heart to yours, Namaste. And if you like the practice, I'll appreciate if you could please like and subscribe to my channel. And wherever you are in the world, have an awesome day, a great afternoon, or an awesome evening. I will see you soon on the mat. Namaste.